Sean Strickland altercation, footage, Conor McGregor UFC return, Islam Makhachev. Conor McGregor anticipates a 6-month testing period exemption. Conor McGregor, a former 2-division champion, recently revealed on social media that he will be taking 2 USADA-mandated drug tests in February, despite the organization's assertions to the contrary. McGregor is anxious to make a quick return to the octagon. When will McGregor return to octagon? Will USADA allow him to take 2 tests in February? Who will welcome McGregor back to the octagon? Want to know more? Then what are you waiting for? Let's get started. Hi, hello, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to discuss about Sean Strickland altercation, footage, Conor McGregor UFC return, Islam Makhachev. As it had previously been stated that McGregor would need to go through 6 months of testing before being permitted to participate inside the octagon. The tweet soon sparked some controversy. This past weekend, USADA reacted by issuing a statement that clarified the circumstance and seemed to refute McGregor's claim of an exemption. We have not received a response from McGregor, who enraged MMA fans with his tweet explaining that few fighters understand the struggle of recovering from such a terrible injury, while citing Anderson Silva and Chris Weidman. McGregor is not currently enrolled in our testing pool and would have to be for 6 months unless an exception is granted, which we do not believe would be applicable. McGregor stated that the severity of the damage should justify an exclusion this quickly led to fans accusing him of using PEDs. And some even took the tweets as an admission of PED usage. Long-time UFC veteran Club Swanson took to Twitter to reveal that back in high school, he suffered the same broken leg as McGregor. He concluded his tweet by taking a shot at the former 2-division champion, saying that despite the injury, he never used PEDs, with McGregor most likely not receiving a USADA exemption. It sounds like he'll probably join the USADA testing pool in February, which would place his comeback sometime in the late summer. Whether he returns in time for the UFC's yearly International Fight Week celebrations is still up in the air. The trainer of Islam Makhachev doesn't think he merits second place in the pound-for-pound rankings. When Islam Makhachev defeated Charles Oliveira in the main event of UFC 280 to capture the championship, he started a new era. At 155 pounds, Makhachev quickly moved up to the second slot overall on the pound-for-pound ladder, given that Makhachev had no victories over fighters in the top 5 prior to his victory over Oliveira. Many competitors, including Francis Ngannou and Kamaru Usman, wonder how it was possible for him to jump over the rest of the ladder to the number 2 slot. In contrast, Alex Pereira finished 8th on the pound-for-pound list after defeating Israel Adesanya, who dropped to 6th after the defeat. In a recent interview, the head coach of the American Kickboxing Academy, Javier Mendez, who also trains Khabib Nurmagomedov's partner, Makhachev, commented on the situation. He said, "Look, you know this just as much as I do. Islam went from number 2 pound for pound in the UFC in just 1 fight. I know he's good and I believe he's number 1, and I do believe that. But to give him that spot of number 2 pound for pound in just 1 fight is no. I know in my heart with time he'll be number 1. Simple as that. But they gave him this just because of 1 fight. Makhachev will have the opportunity to solidify his position on the pound-for-pound ladder next year when he squares off with Alexander Volkanovski, who reigns at the top of pound-for-pound list. One of the most eagerly awaited battles of both men's career is slated to take place at UFC 284 in February, where the 2 champions will square off. Please share your opinions in the comment section below about how you think the 2 men will behave when they fight. Given Alex Pereira's massive build and deadly knockout power, it would be natural to believe that the former 2-division Glory kickboxing champion is completely fearless when he enters the octagon. However, Pereira admits that he was afraid to face Sean Strickland. Despite this, in a recent interview, Pereira admitted that there was one opponent he was terrified of facing. He said that before facing Sean Strickland. He was terrified of the outspoken American with dozens of UFC victories. Strickland brought experience to the ring that Pereira hadn't seen before. Additionally, Strickland has a history of making absurd statements, such as wanting to be the first person to murder someone inside the octagon. Yet Pereira wasn't very concerned with him during the fight week, press conferences, and Star when the cage doors closed. Downs claimed something altered and he became a different guy inside the octagon from his typical self. "I believe that this man wanted to kill me. I'm telling you, this man was different from everyone else, but in the end, it was good that he entered the octagon in this manner because it alerted me to the danger and made me realize that I couldn't make mistakes with this man. I said, damn, he's different in there. You have to be careful with this man. And I entered the fight more shrewdly and managed to catch him. Of course, Pereira's victory over Strickland is one of the most flawless of his short MMA career. Strickland is forced to lower his hands in the first round by Pereira's use of the jab, which he then follows up with a head left hook that finishes off the darting contender. Prior to continuing, please click the like button and be sure to subscribe to the MMA Zone for all of the most recent news. The fight saw Pereira capture the middleweight #1 contender place before going on to defeat Israel Adesanya to win the middleweight gold. At UFC 280, Belal Muhammad argues his case for a title shot, with a victory over Sean Brady in the third round under his belt. Belal Muhammad made a statement. He also sets his sight on the future with an amazing resume that includes 8 straight victories, except for a no contest against Leon Edwards back in 2021. Muhammad, who is currently ranked 4th in the lightweight division of the UFC, believes that his time for a shot at the lightweight championship has come rather than fighting the streaking Chechen prospect Hamza Chimaev. Prior to his fight with Brady, Muhammad was campaigning for a shot at Brady despite the fact that the UFC had already booked him for a fight with Brady. Former champion Kamaru, or Colby Covington, Usman Muhammad stated during a recent Instagram live that Leon Edwards should be his opponent for the much-anticipated rematch because there are no more fights after a Super Bowl loss. When you lose the Super Bowl, it's over. You have to wait till the following year. You don't get a, oh man, that was a lucky pass moment. Instead, because you lost, you don't get the rematch right immediately. You have to go through an entire season to attempt to get it back. There has been no word on Muhammad's next move as of yet, but it appears that the UFC will hold a trilogy fight between Edwards and Usman in the United Kingdom next year. Given that Colby Covington and Hamza Chimaev are rumored to be competing for the title of top contender, it will be interesting to see who Muhammad ends up facing, given that he recently explained that he dropped in the rankings when he agreed to fight Sean Brady, given that he wants a fight that moves him closer to a title shot. Only a few times Conor McGregor's comeback is discussed by Leon Edwards, whether MMA fans are tuned in to watch him lose or tuning in with the expectation of seeing him achieve a highlight reel knockout. It's no secret that Conor McGregor's return will catch the attention of the MMA community. There is currently no information available on when McGregor might return. At first it appeared that he would do so sooner rather than later, but after news broke that the former 2-division champion hadn't been tested by a USADA since 2022, the conversation abruptly changed. UFC President Dana White said that McGregor would need to undergo testing for 6 months before being eligible to fight, but McGregor quickly denied that statement this morning. Given the controversy and ambiguity surrounding McGregor's return, it is unlikely that he will receive any kind of exception. It is also unknown what weight class McGregor might compete at when he returns. In an interview this week, welterweight champion Leon Edwards discussed circumstance and said it would be challenging for him to return and compete against the top 5. There hasn't been any announcement on who will welcome McGregor back to the octagon, but he has a lot of alternatives. If you enjoy our content, make sure you hit the like button and share your thoughts and opinions in the comment section below. Subscribe to our channel to get our videos regularly, and don't forget to click the bell icon to never miss an update. Thank you for your time. Looking forward to seeing you at the next one. Until then, peace.